Alrighty, so welcome to day 2 of section 6.1. Yesterday we learned about the sum of the interior angles of a polygon, and we learned that every polygon has a different sum. So we've been working with the sum of a triangle for a while. We know that that is 180, but when we go up to a quadrilateral, the sum is going to increase by 180. Again, for a pentagon, and up and up and up. And the formula that we use to figure out the sum of the interior angles is n minus 2 times 180 degrees. Now today, we're going to do a little more solving within these polygons. So in our first example, it says Jenna is building a corner cabinet to fit in a rectangular room. If she builds it with the angles shown, how can she determine that the cabinet will fit? So let's talk about the goal. What do we want it to be? How do we know if it actually fits? Well, this is going to fit into the corner of a room. So we know that corners have to be, in our house, they need to be 90 degrees. So that is the actual question. Is that corner angle 90 degrees? Well, here are the steps that we're going to take to find the missing angle of a polygon. Step 1, this is the most important step, is to find the sum of the angles. And we do that with n minus 2 times 180 degrees. So I first need to know what is n. Well, it says this, it didn't tell us. Let's look at it. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sides. It is a pentagon, so our n is 5. We're going to plug that into 5 minus 2 times 180 degrees. And I find, well, we can break it down even further, 3 times 180. The sum of the interior angles of a pentagon is going to be 540 degrees. Step number 2 is to find the missing angle. Well, I want you to think back to what we did with the triangle. If I knew I had a triangle and I knew that this was 60 and this was 30, how would I find the third angle? Well, I'd take 180 and subtract 60 and 30. It's the same thing with this, except we're not going to use 180, we're going to use 540. So we're going to take 540 and subtract. I'm going to need to subtract out 4 angles to find the missing fifth one. So I go around here, 540 minus 90, minus 135, minus another 135, minus another 90. And we plug that into our calculator. So we have 540 minus 90, minus 135, minus another 135, minus 90, tells me that that missing angle is 90 degrees. Now, some problems we're going to stop there, but in this case, we need to answer the question. And the question was, will it fit? Did we want our angle measured here to be 90 degrees? So the answer is yes, the cabinet will fit. Okay? So that's one type of problem we'll see. Now there's a couple more here in the same, more straightforward, not as much of not a story problem. So let's take a look. We want to find the value of x. So we're going to have, in this case, 2 steps. Step number 1, we need to find the sum. The sum here, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So n is equal to 4. I'm going to plug it in. 4 minus 2 times 180. I know that this is 360. I personally like to write a big 360 in the middle here. So I'm going to be looking for that on some of your guys' papers so that I know that you've done the first step and that you've done it correctly. Now I'm going to, since they gave me 3 values, step number 2 is to take 360 and subtract out the 3 values. So minus 79, minus 55, minus 110. That leaves me with 360 minus 79, minus 55, minus 110. I had an extra little random thing in there. 116 degrees. All right, so go ahead and pause the video and try number 13. So let's see, this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So n equals 7. We do 7 minus 2 times 180. 5 times 180 tells me that these are all going to add up to 900. So step number 1 is to fill in that angle. Step number 2 is to subtract. And you can write it out or you can just do it in your calculator. 90, I kind of recommend starting at or 900. Go around so you don't count one more than once. Minus 142, minus 150, minus 90, minus 148, minus 140, minus 136. Check to make sure I have 6 values. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The missing angle measure x is equal to 94. So that's one type of problem. The next type of problem is going to be more of an algebra problem, and you've done these with triangles. So it's going to be the same exact thing, except we're not going to just be able to subtract from our number. We're going to set up an equation. Step number 1 stays the same. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If n is equal to 6, I plug it in. 6 minus 2 times 180. I know that the sum of these interior angles is going to be 720. Now, step 2, we want to set up an equation. So what that looks like, and I'm going to do it really long, it's going to be kind of long right here. We go all the way around, and this time I need all 6 values or expressions to do this. So I'm going to start with this 110 and go clockwise. I know that 110 plus 8x minus 1 plus 5x plus 36 plus 116 plus 7x plus 19 plus 6x minus 2, it's a lot, equals a grand total of 720. Now I go through and grab all my x's, 8x plus 5x plus 7x plus 6x. 8 plus 5 plus 7 plus 6 gives me 26x. Now I go grab the rest of them, 110 minus 1 plus 36 plus 116 plus 19 minus 2 gives me a positive 278 equals 720. Subtract 278, 720 minus 278 gives me, cut into this, 26x equals 442 divided by 26, x equals 17. You will see some problems that ask you to go back and find one of the missing angles. We know how to do that super easy. You just plug them into whatever angle they're looking for. And that's what we're going to see here. So you can either pause the video and try it on your own or watch one more time. So this time it's a quadrilateral. I learned up here that quadrilaterals add up to 360. So step number 1 I can check off. I already found the sum. Now how I like to set up these problems, it takes a little less space. I go around, I'm going to add up all the x's here. I have 5 plus 10. 5x plus 10 x is 15x. Plus 14x plus 8x gives me 37x. 18 plus 13 minus 11 plus 7, 27 equals 360. 360, I'm going to subtract out 27. 37x equals 333 divided by 37. X equals 9. So pay attention. In this case, they wanted us to find angle B. So now step number 3 is to plug it back in. The measure of angle B is going to be 8 times, what is our x? 9 plus 7, and then we simplify. The measure of that angle B is 79 degrees. That's our final answer. All right, so if you're good, you don't have to sit through this. This problem is the same exact thing, and then we're going to end after this. But go ahead and check your work. This time we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-sided figure. Step number 1, n minus 2 times 180. 5 minus 2 times 180 equals 540 degrees. Write that in the middle so we don't lose it. Now we go around. 3x plus 7x is 10x plus 6x is 16 plus 6x is 24. 2x. Now we have a 4 minus 3 plus 12 plus, don't forget about this here, this is 90 degrees. We can't miss one of our angles. Minus 3 is plus 100. Equals my total of 540. Subtract out 100. 22x equals 440. X equals 20. Now step 3, make sure you go back and answer that question. They wanted all of these angle measures. They wanted 5 of them. Okay, so we have a 90 degrees. And then just go around and plug them in. 3 times 20 minus 4. We have a 56. 7 times 20 minus 3. 137. 6 times 20 plus 12. 132. We have our 90 already mentioned. 6 times 20 minus 3. 117. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Looks good. If we did it correctly, it should all add up to 540. I'm just going to check. Nope. I made a mistake. Which one did I make a mistake with? 20 plus 4. Oh, I subtracted 4. This is a 60. So 90 plus 60 plus 137 plus 132 plus 117. There we go. All right. Good luck. And let me know if you have any questions.